Okay, we're loading in. No, I need the music. Burn.
You went through the maintenance area, I'm guessing.
There's a maintenance chute in this
Not
building.
really a maintenance chute. It's a ladder on the other side, connecting to the other tower.
Very big security risk.
Look, I didn't build the place.
Well,
Clearly.
surely he has no bad intentions. I mean,
I
he
mean,
was
I-
unarmed.
I mean, he did claim he wanted food.
Oh, hi, Koki.
Oh, the
Well,
Hello.
I happen to have some food.
Yeah, I run this place now, just so you know.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah.
Hello,
Congrats.
Collectors.
Okay, well, now that
Hello.
the squatter situation is settled, I guess you guys talk with him.
Oh, hi again,
Can I
Collecty.
get you anything?
Been a while.
Hello.
And by been a while, I mean been a few days.
Yeah, pretty much. Why is there an egg? Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know why. I think one of
Yeah,
these
it's the
chickens.
Why are there caged chickens?
That's
They're
just
mascots.
Kim and Ron. Don't worry about them.
Okay.
This
There are
seems
mascots.
this seems like foul treatment of your pets.
Look, I did that because they kept running
Turtle.
around the place and it was a health hazard. They're let out at night. Don't worry.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
I love how that egg just vaporized when it made contact.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It happens.
So, can I get? Yeah.
So anyway, back to our original topic.
Well, before that.
Oh, while I
what
was
do you
looking
have?
around, Collecty, I saw your guild. Looks really
Eh?
nice.
It's been a lot of work
what-
getting it to where it is now.
What zest do you have?
How many
Oh,
days
really?
until the opening?
Let's see.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It should be bring
We
more
got
business
some
to us
sweet
all.
berry cheesecake. We got cookies,
Yeah,
honey
about
cookies.
Week and a half.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Lila,
May
if
I
I...
Hmm?
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
If I may
I-
make a suggestion, their strawberry
I
cake
might
is
stop by
actually
Tortuga
pretty good.
later on in this coming week.
I must
See if
have
I
the
can
strawberry cake
strike
then.
up a
How
bit
much
of
would
a,
that be?
All right, here you go.
I guess, a trade deal.
Okay. That would be 2
Yes.
gold.
You know,
Hmm.
I'm
No,
planning
it's
like
your
a,
first meal, so it's
I'm
on the
planning like a
house.
feast
Oh,
for the
thank
grand
you.
opening.
I don't really need gold right now,
Ooh.
anyways.
Catering,
Alright,
am I hearing?
Catering, maybe providing a bit of refreshment, alcohol, all the sort.
Oh yes, I'm
So-
sure we can do that.
If we could possibly
And for some
get
compensation as
permission to
well,
build
but
an outpost,
as it's
and
not necessarily
conduct
cheap to
our different
fully,
researches in there. It may be a
outfit
bit
for
big,
parties,
but
I'd make it.
I'm
Well, I mean,
sure we can do something.
I'll
I
see
mean, we
what
can look
I
around the
can,
local area on the
can
other side
grab
of the
from
border if you
my
want.
old house.
Do you
I
not
think I
still
still
have to
have a
run the
lot of my
tavern, or
diamonds
would you
there.
like to do this another
Yeah, I
time?
can
Yeah.
let Coakley look after the place for a minute or two. I trust
Alright.
him.
I suppose we shall do that then.
Yeah, Cockatee,
Alright.
just look after the place for a moment.
Well, no.
Thanks.
Oh, in that case, it's better activate the gear.
Yeah, it's for the best. I'm naturally pretty adept at it.
So what brings you here?
Yes, from our journey in the ancient
I don't
city.
know, I just
have
kind of
noticed
heard
Yeah.
I just, wanted to stop by, see how things were doing. That's
Same.
Again, I live right across the river, so I like checking in from time to time.
Yeah, that is fair. Personally, I wanted to see how this tavern's been running.
Ah,
I heard about it and I was like, you know what, I wanna take a look at it. You know, competition. You know,
yeah.
I was
Makes
thinking I could
sense. Makes
start maybe
sense.
selling some. I was thinking I might start selling some sweets, so like some honey
Ooh.
stuff. You know, good tasties.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure any plant folk would enjoy that.
Oh yes, I'm sure. I could get some
Hmm.
candy, make some honey glazed ham, and I
Oh.
could even have honey fried kelp as well.
Ah.
The honey fried kelp is almost like candy. It's quite amazing, delicious.
Hmm. I'll have to try it sometime.
And there's no negative effect from eating it. It just tastes so good.
Ooh. That's always a benefit.
Yeah. So what kind of
No.
Damn. That shit was loud.
Shit.
when I hit him, he just immediately shut the door. like after his Trident Clyde door immediately closed.
Just oh shit, never mind.
Fucking bird jump scared, turtle jump scared one day.
Uh,
that was that was that was funny.
anyway, you were saying?
Um, what kind of undertakings will your guild be doing?
Um, it's an archaeological research guild. A lot of us aren't from this world, so we have very little idea of what past it has.
Ah,
With a guild of this, I guess, with a guild of this title, I suppose, I don't know the best way to put that. You know, we get to find out and compile whatever we can find.
hmm.
It helps that a lot of us woke up in the same temple.
It does. It gives a good point of origin to begin the searches. Like, how old is the temple? Where did it come from? What's its story? Does it have any other secrets?
On top of that, you ever find it weird how before a lot of the Rift Walkers showed up, there's like not a whole lot of signs of other settlements aside from Akron and the one I will not be mentioning.
The
Yeah.
uh yeah, those guys. Yep, I know who you're talking about.
Like, it feels weird that those are the only two, like, even remote, like, settlements that were here before we showed up.
Yeah, and neither of them are the friendliest, I'd say, but
I mean, Akron's at least not, kill or capture on sight.
yeah, Akron's just sort of there, I guess. Not very good, not very much business going through with them though. So, not
Yeah.
very haven't been keeping tabs on them too much.
Yeah, it's too far for me to, keep flying there and back.
Yeah, I mean, I could take a boat there from Tortuga and be there in a relatively quick time, but
Yeah,
I'd rather
fair.
not. There's no real reason to go over there.
Yeah.
They don't buy
Nobody
any
else
of
has
my
really
stuff.
settled that far out.
Yeah.
Like, let me actually check my map.
Yeah, to my knowledge, no one settled north of Tortuga.
Yeah. Like, from what I know, Tortuga is the northernmost settlement. Although there is that, like, small settlement that's, like, kind of northwest on, like, the
Well,
same group of
Mc,
islands.
McDolan's Bay. Well, McDolan
Correct.
settlement. I mean, we're all one settlement, really. Now Emerald Haven Isles is
Okay.
one faction.
Okay. One faction, two towns.
Yep,
Yeah.
and a bunch of members. So
Yeah.
Very interesting.
That does mean that Tortuga and Iridat are the closest to Akron. Even then, still a flight.
who's Invis?
I have a gun!
I do. I have a bow and a throwable trident. There's an Invis person here.
I know.
Yeah.
They gave me some food.
Oh, okay then. The
Okay, I
ghost
guess
is
if they...
kind.
Okay, I guess.
Ghost. I don't see a ghost.
Okay.
Circus.
Now here's my question for...
Hmm.
I'm assuming you're going to be the guild master.
That's the plan.
Would you be willing to let me know if you come across any information on other worlds as well?
If I find anything of the sort, I'll let you know.
Okay, because the reason I say this is because I've given it some thought. I've heard some people are missing their old homeworlds, and it made me think about
Why did this door just close?
other worlds. Everyone came here through a rift of some sort or of another, right?
I mean,
Except
were
the people who
apparently
are already here. Oh, it's
Please
breaking
hold.
down the door.
No!
Ah.
My brother! Why'd you kill my
destruction
brother?
of property will not be tolerated.
The dramatic ghost.
No!
I was told to watch the tavern, and I will do so.
He was breaking down the door, to be fair, and I know if someone were breaking down my door, I'd murder him, so...
I'm taking that. I am taking that next time I play a bard.
What did I just
Give
come
me
back
that
to?
screenshot.
They killed my brother!
Don't go inside, you fool!
Oh.
Ah! Ah!
Please close the door on your way out or in.
Anyway, so yeah, I was thinking people have been missing their worlds, and I was thinking a lot of us came through portals or rifts or whatever you want to call them, magic space gateway thingamajigs.
Yeah.
So surely for some of us, surely some of our belongings came in with us.
Just
I mean,
don't
that
mind me.
would
I'm
make
just gonna.
sense.
I'm just gonna sit right here where I can hear you.
I mean, when I
Yeah, I'll do the same.
when I showed up, I had like anything I had on me.
I mean, I'm saying this partially because I was thinking of my own belongings.
Yeah.
Because when I came here, I pretty much opened my vault where I kept all my riches and favorite books, some bits of history from my world, and my rift was in the vault gateway, like in the vault doorway.
So
I'm
theoretically,
wondering if
somewhere all that stuff is, well, just there. You don't know
Yes.
where, but it's somewhere.
potentially scattered, and maybe other people have similar predicaments as well, where some of their stuff has come over, or maybe just some of their stuff sort of somehow leaked into this world. You never know what happens.
That is an interesting idea, because if that's the case, why wasn't it at the
3
temple?
gold. Why is this
Exactly.
expensive?
What if
So expensive.
the waters carried them away, or the winds blew
Like-
some information around?
Like, traveling
what if-
through a rift into a different world is one thing. But there being
Yes.
dozens of people who have all accidentally fallen into rifts and ended up in the exact same place, that doesn't feel like a coincidence.
Yeah, So maybe if we can find some sort of link between those people and between their worlds, perhaps we can find a reason for being drawn here.
Yeah. Along with that, the fact that, like, I know I had, like, my flintlocks on me when I fell into my rift, but they were nowhere to be seen. I remember, like, letting go of them because the floor fell out from under me, but they were falling with me. I haven't found them yet.
Hmm.
Huh.
Yeah. So let's keep our eyes open, see if we can find anything from other worlds as well as history from this one.
Yeah. Along with that, when I did fall into a rift, I was exploring some ruins. The ruins I was exploring, they had, like, this kind of bluish-green stone that smelled like the ocean. A lot like,
Huh.
I believe it's prismarine? I've seen a bit of it.
Oh, do you mean the building with those weird spiky fish
I think
with
so.
one eye? I've seen a few of those. They're kind of scattered throughout. There's not much. There aren't exactly riches in them. However, there is a fair stockpile of gold in each one for some reason. So
Gold's nice. That was the
the
main
gold's
currency back
nice.
home.
Yeah.
Spooky.
Yeah, gold is nice and all. However, in this world, I found gold is not particularly valuable. Diamonds are more valuable than gold. However, what's really intrigued me is how common diamonds are in this world.
Yeah.
Diamonds weren't exactly a thing of
Like,
common trade in my world.
yeah, back home, a single, like, diamond could be worth anywhere from several hundred to several thousand gold pieces, let alone, let alone, like, if it's enchanted or anything.
We didn't exactly have enchanted gold or diamonds in my world.
And now we
It
must
was
go back.
remarkably commonplace back home.
I could definitely bring in power
Hmm.
to our facility to help out with.
You couldn't really go into
That
any
was
room
the
without
most
finding
What's
something that's
crucial. I
enchanted.
do not
the door?
know, but the
I mean, my
door-
home world didn't exactly have that.
Well,
We didn't have
we'll have
undead.
to
We didn't
figure
have
it out later.
these weird
Yes,
green
yeah.
exploding
so
creatures
far,
that creep up behind you.
But
We
yeah, so
and
far
didn't
I can
have
definitely
those, but
help
we
out
definitely
with,
had undead.
Oh yes, that would be
Power.
most.
The
I can't even
giant
I will
spiders,
most likely
the giant
write to
spiders
you
are
about that later.
not
Um,
strange to me too much.
Yeah, no, we had those.
I mean, them being like ordinary spiders, just really big. That's new, but
Did Atlas get lost?
usually in
I
my
don't know.
in my
I was fixing
world,
the door.
the two
there
giant
you
spider
are.
species we have are called tarantulas and metrachnids.
Hmm.
The tarantulas are sentient, actually. They're mischievous. They're not evil. They're just mischievous and enjoy webbing up travelers, only to have them wake up in surprise in the morning as a sort of prank. Hence their name. Metrachnids are
They sound a lot like the
unwelcome.
Fae from back home.
I don't know what that is, but it sounds like they got fun taste.
Hey, you guys have a watcher above you.
They pretty much like it
for some reason that guy's
would dive
watching
into a
you
bunch of
steal.
realm shit, but long story short, they would pop into our realm for a bit, like prank a couple travelers, have their fun, and then leave.
Yeah, that sounds like they're fun company,
Who dropped their sword?
honestly.
Yeah.
Very entertaining, to say the least.
Okay, that's not mine.
Granted, you could not give them
Wait,
like
that is
your
definitely
name
my
or
sword.
anything that they could like
Is it actually, or
commonly call you by, because then
No.
they kind
Yeah.
of, I guess, took ownership of you. Not
Wait,
fun.
Hey,
Oh,
did someone
huh.
drop a sword?
Yeah.
I didn't drop a sword.
Because I just found this on the ground,
It's not mine.
and these two claim it wasn't theirs.
I got mine.
mine. Anywho, the other
Who the hell
species,
dropped it?
no clue. The other species
Oh,
of
God,
spiders in
more fucking
my
ghost
home
spiders.
world are called metractids. They are basically massive metal spiders.
Oh, that's terrifying.
Ah, ah,
Yeah,
something's
and
on fire.
they are
what's
carnivorous
that?
and
What's
hunt
that?
people.
Oh,
Something's
Huh?
on fire.
Really, they hunt.
Something's
Oh,
Well,
on
God,
I
the
say
fire.
they
ghost
hunt
is back.
people. They hunt anything smaller than
Hey.
them,
Someone's invisible.
ah.
and some things that are larger than them.
It's
They
the
they're
ghost.
not
Leave them
particularly
alone.
picky,
They just wanna-
It is them. It's the goat.
I don't think
and
we
they're
had anything directly like that back home. Just
yeah.
gigantic normal spiders.
I feel like that's a lot less worrisome than metractids. I'm gonna be honest.
Well, I mean, when you've got spiders that wouldn't be able to fit in this room, it doesn't matter what they are, how they are. It's terrifying.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, metractids are about the size of a full-grown horse, so yeah, they're kind of big,
Yeah.
and
Some of the
their
spiders
claws
back
are like
home,
blades.
some of the spiders back home, using that as a measurement, pretty much like a horse would barely come up to like one of the first segments in their legs. Sometimes.
Oh, that is just terrifying to think
yeah.
about.
Some of the elves from back home even managed to like tame some of them. I don't know how. I don't want to know how.
Yeah, no, you can't tame metractids. You think people have
I-
tried? Believe me. They thought they were tame, and then they turned their back on them, trusting them to behave, and then got kind of literally
Yeah.
stabbed in the back.
Damn.
So, and then consumed on the spot. It was not fun. I did not like cleaning up the mess.
Yeah, that sounds horrid.
It was not fun. Though I wouldn't
Yeah.
mind having dire wolves here. Dire wolves, those were good. Those were
Yeah, those were fun.
dire wolves over horses.
Yeah.
I think.
Horses
I mean-
aren't really prone to defending themselves. They just kind of either sit there or run.
Yeah, and the dire wolves of my world are borderline sentient beings. They understand speech. They're loyal to the end, and I mean they're a little slightly smaller than a horse, but they're much stronger and faster and more durable. In fact, one of the races in my home world actually ride on them into battle and give them special armor.
Huh.
So basically like war horses, except far more terrifying when you see a massive pack of them coming towards you.
Yeah.
Especially
Like,
considering
It's one
both
thing
rider
to see an
and
army charging at you on horseback. It's another to know that their mounts could also eat you.
yeah. Mm-hmm. Now, fortunately, the Metallo of they don't ride anything, but that's only because nothing could hold their weight.
Ah.
Yeah, they're basically big metal people. The shortest 8 feet tall.
Damn.
Like that's
Sounds-
considered if you're 8 foot tall Metallo, you're considered short.
Sounds like the metal version of Goliaths from back home. Big
Huh.
ass stone people.
Were your Goliaths smart at all? Or were they
Some
slow?
yes, others no. A lot of them tended to be like kind of the bruiser type.
See, with the Metallo, it's the opposite.
Ah.
They're quite clever. And in fact, they're some of the best craftsmen of my home world.
Mm.
In fact, some of their best inventors invented an alloy that, when damaged, over time repairs itself. No one knows how. It just does.
Huh.
Of course, it's extremely expensive, and I've done some research to try figuring out how it's made. And it's made with metallo plate, dragon scales, and
Oh, So you have
underdweller
dragons back home
crystal
too.
breath, and something else. Yeah, we have 2 species of dragons. We have
Only two.
what we refer to as sea dragons. When they're in water, they have fins. When they're on land, the fins turn into legs and arms.
Fun.
Yeah, and wings. So
Yeah.
quite dangerous.
Back
And
home,
they're
we
quite
have, like,
massive too.
back home we have. Geez, how many? Do we have? We have, I think, like 10 different true dragons.
Huh.
Each one a different color. Some good, some will eat you on sight.
Huh.
Yeah.
Sounds like a interesting company.
Oh yeah.
The
Oddly
other
enough, one
species
of my
of
teachers back home
Oh.
was I believe a copper dragon.
Huh.
Eh?
Interesting. We also had another smaller species. They only grew to be about 12 feet long from head, from snout to tail. They were quite nice and actually partook in open trade with everyone who was friendly to them. They're called water wakers. Their scales were varied from various shades of blue to almost emerald green. Really pretty, really beautiful creatures they were. Clever too, though they particularly enjoyed peace and quiet, and enjoyed simple lives near the ocean. Uh, they actually had two different kinds of breath. Uh, one one was for offense. They would freeze their opponents, their enemies, to the point so much, and it was so bad that if you tried to break the ice they were encased in, the whole person inside would shatter with the ice.
Oh.
The other one is more of a medical purposes. Anything they freeze with their other frosty breath will heal any injury as the ice melts. To speed up the heal process, you just heat up the ice and it goes faster.
Neat.
Yeah, they're quite well loved by the medical community.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And the fact that they can fly means they can attend any emergencies almost anywhere in the countries.
Mm.
There weren't many where I lived. Very few came to where I lived for reasons.
Mm. Yeah. I don't think really any of the dragons from back home, true or otherwise, had any sort of medicinal properties. Although I do believe some of the riders were healers.
Interesting. I mean, dragons do make for fast transportation.
Yeah, especially wyverns, which are basically just smaller, more agile ones.
Yeah, probably less aggressive too, just a little.
More aggressive in nature because at that point, dragons, they're very intelligent. Like smarter than most races back home because they live for so long.
This is pretty much the same with the sea dragons of my home world.
But that means that a lot of them, they're not they're not wanting to kill out of the need for food. They can just go to the nearest ocean, pick up a whale, and probably just fly back. No problem. They are evil. They choose to be. But
My people don't.
The wyverns are just animals.
Oh, okay. Like a
Surprisingly
horse.
easy to domesticate if you get an egg of them, though. Granted.
Because then you imprint on them, and they see you as sort of their parent. That makes sense.
Granted, good luck getting an egg. A single sting from a wyvern can kill a man instantly.
Oh, that's makes for one valuable pet.
Yeah. Wyvern venom is an extremely valuable poison.
And here I was thinking Dreamer's Midnight was strong. Dreamer's Midnight's poison native to the country of Dire in my home world. It's made from a special flower that grows only 1 month of the year. And that's rather surprising for Dire, seeing as it's essentially summertime year round in that country. It's always nice and warm and good for crops growing year round. In fact, they commonly supply the rest of the countries with their excess crops, meaning they're one of the best exporters in the world. Dreamer's Midnight's effects, they take place slowly. However, the way they kill is excruciating. If consumed, it's strongest when it's consumed. If it's consumed through like drinking or eating food contaminated with it, it'll kill you in about 30 minutes. It'll make you feel really tired to the point where you'll probably excuse yourself from any events that you might be part of to go take a rest, and then you'll never wake up. Hence the name Dreamer's Midnight.
Yeah.
Its antidote is called Waking Dawn, which is appropriate.
Fitting name, yeah.
I'd say. And it's typically made from a mushroom that grows in the depths of Kor, the neighboring nation. So in the two countries, it's not exactly affordable to get the antidote or to get the venom itself. The venom, the poison itself typically costs more. If the poison's put into the bloodstream, however, I prefer a quick death over what that causes. Basically, what it does is it'll prevent the wound from healing. At least healing quickly. It'll put it at a snail's pace, and it'll slowly drain your strength. You'll get tired over time, but it'll also give you a fever. And so as you're feeling ill and you're starting to drift off asleep, you encounter fever dreams as you slowly begin to feel yourself die.
Oh.
We only know this because people who have survived have explained exactly what it felt like. And by that, I mean people who got the antidote before they died.
Wyvern venom, its main danger is if you get stung directly, but if you ingest it for some reason, you pretty much have a day to go to a healer before your insides basically liquefy.
Ah, that's a pleasant image.
Yeah, no. Thankfully, that is the most survivable. Go to a good healer, or,
That's the most survivable.
Yep, you go to a good healer, or one of your party members has a scroll that can bring you back to life. Hey, guess what? You're fine.
Wait, you got scrolls that can bring people back to life?
Oh, we got scrolls that can do anything.
All right, you said you got a bunch of magic stuff in your world.
Yeah. Was
Makes
never
sense.
partial to it, though. But the real danger with wyvern venom comes if it enters your bloodstream directly. Because at that point, you have, instead of about a day, you have maybe an hour.
So pretty much say goodbye to your loved ones.
Yeah, take that hour to either chug as many, health potions, or find the best healer you can to try and get it out of you. Or get your affairs in order, say goodbye to your loved ones, make amends with those you need to, and,
Your loved ones.
Eh? Yeah, not fun.
Yeah, that does not sound particularly enjoyable.
Yeah, because wyverns, their venom is their main hunting method, so it's gotta be quick. Because,
just that way they can just slurp up their food.
Yeah, they stab, and when whatever they stabbed is recoiling from the pain of having a stinger about, the size of most people's arms stabbed into them, wyvern picks them up and drags them back to their lair. And if another wyvern comes by, if whatever they stung was dead, yeah, that wyvern can't eat it. There's a neat quirk about wyvern venom. Each wyvern makes its own. Each one with a slightly different, I guess, what is it? Like, composition. Each one with a different composition, slightly. You know. But that means that a lot of the time, wyverns cannot eat or ingest any other wyvern's venom.
I need a helmet. I need a helmet.
Oh, look. I conveniently have a hat.
But, But yeah, it's... Okay, you know how, like... You know how there are, like, just some substances that are super, like, bitter and sour, like, if you end up accidentally tasting some?
Yeah, it's sort of like bittersweet.
No, yeah, just remove the sweet and make it 10 times worse. That's basically how wyverns, like, taste other wyvern venom. It doesn't kill them. It just
tastes
makes,
really, really bad.
It makes whatever was killed by a wyvern either incredibly toxic to anything that's not a wyvern,
or
unappealing, or incredibly
unappealing.
disgusting to any other wyverns.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, valid explanation, I'd say.
Yeah. Again, it's also, incredibly valuable just because of how deadly it can be.
Yeah.
Granted, a lot of that value comes out of the fact that in order to get it, you either need to, 1, get it from the source, in which case you need to have a wyvern try to stab you and then accidentally stab, like, a water skin or something. But, at that point, you are effectively dancing with death. Sometimes literally.
That sounds about right. Wait, but what if you just somehow sedated a wyvern? Put it into a harness and sort of imprisoned it in there so the wyvern can't, maneuver its stinger and, murder people.
That could work, but you'd have to do it through magical means, as wyverns are naturally resistant to most poisons and toxins, just in general. It comes with the fact that ingesting their own venom, won't liquefy their insides.
Yeah.
Their bodies are just really good at recycling and, processing any toxins.
Yeah, Metrachnid venom's not particularly potent. It's a sedative, in fact. Commonly farmed, unfortunately, by Dyren hunters. Unfortunately. Dyren hunters are kind of illegally hunting the Dyren race in my homeworld for their furs, for their pelts.
Jesus.
So, they're kind of living on the edge. Some people pay top dollar for Dyren pelts, unfortunately. I got some friends who are Dyren, and it's unfortunate.
Yeah, it's a bit fucked.
Yeah. And they don't mind age either. They just go and do it.
Yeah.
They're basically scum of the earth.
Yeah. I think there was, like, an old tribe of orcs back home that was kind of like that. They were oddly motivated with wiping out a singular, like, species. Until, like, oddly enough, and it was a blur for a ton of people for some reason, the chief of them just kind of died. Nobody really knows what happened. He just kind of died. But yeah. And... yeah.
Now back to the subject of magic.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on. Need help?
You good?
Nope, I'm fine.
Okay.
Okay.
Have fun.
Wonder what's up with him. Yeah, on the subject of magic, I'd say the closest thing we probably have to magic.
Wait,
Are-
I'm actually Magneto. Never mind, I'm fine. No, I'm fine.
Okay. Are probably either the Infiniguards or the casters. The Infiniguards are the children of the primals, the original 6 members, the original 6 sentient beings of the world. Basically, massive turtles, large enough to have an entire mountain off of their shells, with the ability to manipulate the world around them as they pleased.
Neat.
Infiniguards didn't have this world-altering ability. Well, at least the younger ones don't. The older ones, like they're the firstborn or
God.
the oldest, are the ones with the most power left. Well, generational power left.
Mhm.
And even they are very rare and sort of dying out. And by dying out, I mean there aren't many of them to begin with. And Infiniguards are kind of immortal. They live forever. They only ever die in combat, which doesn't happen frequently. Though they do have some sort of feud with the Sea Dragons. Don't know why. There's speculation and some books written about it, but I'd need to find them again. Assuming they came over with me, but you know. There's the casters. It's the reason the casters are the reason there aren't very many pelt hunters left in my world. So Dairen are very unique. They're a sort of wolf people. They have human. But they have longer canine teeth, wolf ears, and fur covering their whole bodies. They're honorable. They hold their sense of honor in very high esteem. If you offend their honor, they will potentially challenge you to a duel, and that will not end well for you. However, a few of them have what they refer to as the old blood. They have where it's residual power
Hey
from
guys,
their
Zariah's
primal.
back.
Well,
That
that is a very blunt
I got
way
the
to
milk.
put it, but we figured out who the ghost was.
We're looking
hello.
at the compass here.
Hi, I was alright.
Been a while, Zerai.
Hi, I got the milk finally.
Yeah,
Oh, welcome back.
it's good because I did not want to have to learn brewing.
Oh,
I
I
didn't
suppose you
either.
could help each other then.
Fair enough.
I make potions.
Yeah,
I like
that's
detailed
why I put,
instructions.
That's why
Have
I
you not
put
been
supplies
looking?
limited because I
Anywho.
did not know what I was doing.
Casters basically have
I
residual
suppose he does
power
not
from
like
their
being a
primal on
tavern
their country,
Would appear so.
and they're very
More
closely
about
connected with aspects of
Brewing
nature,
really is not something
like
that is
dark,
hard to learn,
shadow, light,
I mean, hell,
fire,
I
Takes
figure out.
time.
I figured out the basics
ice,
really quickly, like
and
3 days in.
electricity. Natural electricity,
Hope you don't
like
mind the mask
static
oxidants.
and lightning and stuff
Yeah.
like that, to the point where they can
Are you
absorb
able
their
to run the
aspect,
tavern
which is
with
a mystery
being a
for
ghost?
light and shade
I'm
casters,
sorry, I couldn't hear.
as they sort of draw their power from
We should
light and
probably
darkness.
Go upstairs or outside.
We don't quite understand
Yeah.
how, but they do.
Something.
They're among the
I don't
rarest.
think we're
Light
allowed
casters
to.
are the only caster type
One way to find out.
that are naturally healers, which is surprising. Wouldn't expect them.
Okay, thankfully it's nighttime. We can still outside.
Your
But
cat's
basically,
still
they can
following you, by the way.
condense their respective energy aspects into
Hold on, let me-
physical form. Basically, they can, if they have enough of their energy around them, they can form their energy into into armor or weaponry that is infused with that sort of power. So, like, flame casters can have weapons and armor that burn anyone but themselves. Frost casters can freeze people or cool the air around them greatly. Volt casters, shade casters, and light casters are some of the rarest. To my knowledge, last I checked, there was only one of each of those discovered in the world. So they're quite rare. There's another caster type that's sort of separate from the others, and it's more connecting with the nature.
Mhm.
They're referred to as warcasters.
Oh,
They have the innate ability to basically transform into these great big hulking anthropomorphic wolf monster things. They have complete control of themselves most of the time. All casters sort of hide their abilities from society because, believe it or not, they're actually looked down upon in their culture. They're sort of outcast from everyone and almost hunted. Fortunately, there are laws in place that prevent that, but they are quite despised by literally their entire race.
thanks. Huh.
Now, what's terrifying is that for some odd reason, there can't be a cat. There's never been an elemental caster that has multiple of the same elements.
Huh.
However, warcasters, for some reason, do not follow that rule. And so you can have a warcast who also has the abilities of one of the elemental casters. Each individually have their own classification. So a fire warcaster is called a pyrocaster. A frost caster who also has warcast abilities is called a blizzard caster.
I'm willing to sue, Chef.
A shade caster who is also a warcaster is a void caster. A light caster who is also a warcaster is called a soul caster.
I'll just stand here. It's just.
And
here.
the volt
sit down, I'm
caster
taller.
with a warcaster is called a storm caster.
How much is for your food?
Now the reason they're classified differently is because when they're in their warcast forms,
Well, I cannot afford
their
nothing
power
yet.
is
I don't
amplified.
have any gold on me.
Any of their
And
energy
everything.
aspect that they take in
Oh,
is
thank you.
amplified tenfold. Meaning they're some of the strongest individuals on my world. Capable of even summoning storms to continually replenish their own power.
This place is a beauty.
Yeah.
When in
Yeah,
warcast
they're
form, they're
right,
also
Bill,
like
most
they're
of
also
it.
roughly 20 feet tall when they're in their warcast form.
Oh,
So-
Tab built it. Got it.
They're quite daunting to
This is a
fight
nice
and
place.
practically unkillable.
Yeah.
Mm.
And that's
Back
Practically.
Cameron.
They can
Back
still be
home,
killed as they
magic
can't
was
heal themselves.
Back home, magic was a lot more common. Pretty much anyone you talked to had the ability to
Interesting.
wield magic if they
Ah.
either
I mean-
set their mind to it or were in favor with one of the gods or were just so happened to be born with magic.
My people actually naturally have magical abilities.
Interesting.
Yeah, fire-based. I've never really trained to master the whole technique.
I'm assuming
only-
hence your armor.
Well,
We have
No, that has
we had
nothing
some
to do
of
with
those
it.
back
This
home.
this world would be cold even to like any one of my species, but actually controlling fire is beyond me.
See, we
I don't have
Or
any
the
magic.
shadows, but I'm not a Shilushian.
we had some people back home who were effectively half fire elemental. They were just naturally born with the ability to wield fire.
Interesting.
Eh?
That'd be fun. Then I could get into all sorts of heated debates.
Yeah. Meanwhile, my planet makes the Nether look like a day at the beach.
Ah.
Hmm.
The Nether's a lot like the fire plane from back home. That's where their elemental half comes from. Different elemental planes.
The Nether reminds me of a
Hey, Kevin.
nation
leave.
called Score in my home world.
Who is?
Kevin, can I kill Kevin?
Don't stare at his eyes. You pissed off,
it's-
Kevin.
Enderman.
Score is a desolate land, very
Okay,
harsh
now we gotta kill
conditions,
Kevin.
with lava flowing through it.
Allow me.
You named
Its
the
inhabitants are less accommodating
How do
to
you know
everyone.
Tabs is doing
In-
that?
in
I
fact,
haven't seen him in a
plane.
while.
In fact, they rather
I got no idea.
they're rather
I think
enemies with
Kevin ran away.
practically everyone, and they've been
As
in
well.
century-long war with the
I
Outcast
kind of want to kill
Isles.
Kevin.
Would anyone like to take a
Because you
walk
see,
around Azalea
Score is
Cave?
seen
That
as the
is
scum of
to
the
back of
earth.
the tavern.
Well, scum of the
Might as
world
well.
with no name. Because you see, they invade other nations not to take
It has
power or
to-
control. They invade to enslave the occupants of the towns they attack.
Oh.
And them and their ally Kortar, which is a nation filled with humans, because the people of Score are not human by any means. Yeah, they're the only two countries that partake in this horrible trade.
Yeah, the Plane of Fire isn't. It's not exactly the invading type, but there's a good chance that if you end up there and are not quick to explain yourselves and gain passage through, well, they'll send you to the sulfur mines.
Oof. Yeah, with Score,
Or
it's not
they'll
like
send you
a
to deal with the dragon problem.
oof. Yeah, with Score, it's not a matter of sweet talking your way. It's a matter of you go into Score, you better hope you're Cortarian or Scoran. Because if you're not, you're gonna get captured and sort of sold off.
So,
Yeah, fun. They're a fun crowd. My adoptive father's been at war with them for centuries, so
Oh.
my adoptive father, his name is Vandal. He's one of those Metallo I told you about. Big
Fun.
metal man. Runs a tavern on the in the Outcast Isles. In fact, he's the kind of the only law of the Outcast Isles, seen as the leader, if you could say. Leader in air quotes, mostly because no one dares to go against him.
Yeah.
Mainly because he is a very special individual. He was the first Metallo.
hello.
Oh.
When Corelnia died, the primal of Earth, the primal of the nation of Kor, he was her particular friend. He would visit her daily for centuries before the first conflict ever arose. So he was fighting alongside her against the Trioden, who were invading. And as she died, she passed her powers into her country to avoid the Trioden from taking them for themselves. She gave far more power to him than to anyone else, as she wanted to make sure he stayed safe.
Oh.
And so thus, he is very special. He's practically unkillable. He can infinitely regenerate. And he can also he can change his size. So I think the largest I've seen him become is like 30 feet tall, and that's massive for a Metallo. However, usually he goes about being 8 feet tall, just for humans' sake, so they can accommodate for his size. Because if you're gonna have Metallo housing, you better make sure those beds are able to support his weight. Because no, it doesn't end so well. Usually, usually he has to compensate greatly. However, he's rich. He runs pretty much the entire Outcast Isles. And he's been raging a sort of war against Score for, I'd say, 7 centuries, give or take a few. So, he's got some beef with him. It's fine, though.
Oddly enough, back home there wasn't a whole lot of conflict most of the time. The guild typically handled everything fairly quickly.
Most of the conflict takes place between Gore and Kortar and all the other nations. Although there is we do have a nation
conflict that happened was between, oddly enough, the entire Fey realm versus like an archipelago that's just called the like Devil Isles. Not actual devils, but they're called tieflings. They basically long down whatever family tree they are, they have a demon. So they look infernal, they look demonic, but they're just people.
Huh.
And I guess one of them pissed off the Fae? Which is, an impressive feat. And also a stupid feat.
Huh.
So, yeah, the Devil Isles, they went from somewhat thick jungle to a lot more sparse forests with, like, giant mushrooms pretty much within a week. Then the conflict just ended because the founder kind of just made an agreement with most of the Fae, like, yeah, no, you'll be able to just kind of walk around, we won't bother you, I'm sorry. And it was good. It was good. I don't know how.
See, in my world, there's a landmass north of the Outcast Isles. We just call it Peril.
Oh.
Because that land is full of it. Like, there's been, like, maybe one expedition that's come out of there alive, and they... and there was, like, one guy from that entire expedition survived. Yeah, he explained, like, these weird reptile creatures. They spoke words, but they sort of didn't speak much as they sort of annihilated his team. But from what we learned, there's some sort of sentient reptilian race that sort of murders anyone who enters their lands. There's massive carnivorous plants where if you step on them, then they will pull you up into the canopy of the trees with their vines, encase you in their leaves, and sort of suck the life out of you, quite literally, leaving only bones behind.
Kind of like
of course,
a giant fly trap.
Yep, they don't leave the bones on the ground, of course. They just sort of... Wait, what's a fly trap?
A very small plant where the leaves are specialized in catching insects. A fly will land on it, touch like these weird little fibers that the leaves have, and then the leaves will just close.
I think we have those in my world. I think I've seen something like it before. I just... well, that would explain why the people who heard this guy's tale called them man traps instead. So
yeah,
that's
no, that would make sense.
Appropriate names. Yeah, of course, they didn't get very far. So, yeah, your thing eats bugs and small critters by the sound of it.
Yeah, the largest ones I've seen were able to eat, like, I don't know, maybe a wolf. Yeah.
Sounds like we have something very similar in our two worlds. Because I'd imagine, seeing as the species is alive and not many people dare go into peril, the fact that they still are alive and prospering makes me think they eat far more than just people.
Yeah.
I mean, even Metallo had no chance against them. Like, Metallo have gone in to explore, because they're some of the hardest to kill. And, yeah, no, they never came out.
Yeah, because with a lot of, like, the giant fly traps from back home, you know, with the man traps that you have, it seems like they actively will just hunt, whereas even the giant fly traps back home, they're more stationary. They wait for their food to come to them, and then will just close. So,
I mean, these are pretty I mean, they stay in one spot in the canopy. They have special leaves on the ground that when you step on them, it sort of acts sort of like a pressure plate, and immediately
and then the vines
makes
grab you and drag you.
And they're very inconspicuous vines too, because they're just sort of dangling out along the side, fitting in with the jungle vines surrounding them. So when you step on the leaves, you don't see vines come down to grab you because they're already surrounding you.
Yeah. With the giant fly traps, typically the insides of their leaves are brightly colored. So if you end up stepping on one and you smell like this kind of sweet alcohol-esque smell because their nectar can make things drunk, which is fun. If you step on that, either like very, very slowly move off so that way you don't trigger anything, or if it closes around you, stop moving. Because then you're not messing with any of, the fibers that tell it to close. It's not going to feel good. A bit of acid burn never feels good. But eventually the plant will realize, okay, there's nothing there, and then we'll just open.
That's good. I'm assuming most people just freak out if that happens, and so it doesn't end well for them.
Yeah. Like, if you're quick enough, you can avoid them, but the big ones are very, very good at just, closing quick.
Now, you say that their nectar can make people drunk.
Yeah. It's one of their tactics.
I can't help but think, what if you were to somehow sort of staple or hold their leaves open so you could harvest their nectar safely, and then sell it on the black market?
See, oddly enough, not even the black market. Like,
Just common use.
yeah. Like, giant flytrap nectar is a very common ingredient in a lot of drinks.
Gives it that nice kick of alcohol, I'd guess.
Yeah. It's really good for drinks that are meant to get you drunk.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it's one of their main hunting strategies. If something's too big to actually, or too strong to stay trapped, typically it's an animal that will be lured in by the, scent and color, and just drink until they're a little bit too tipsy to react in time.
Or too tipsy to, know to
Yeah.
stand still. Anywho, I think I should probably be heading back to Tortuga.
Possibly.
I left it for a while. I want to make sure.
I need to make sure some of my restorations stood up. Like that? Yeah.
Training.
Yep.
Nice.
Expect something in your mail within the next few days. Down here.
Alright. I'm usually looking up, so it's weird to look down on someone.
Yeah. Hopefully we can arrange a good deal.
Yes, I'm looking forward to it.
Have a good flight. Well, that was fun. I'm ending stream now.